Hello, welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm Rob.
I'm Brendan.
And today we're going to be looking at the satire In the Loop. And it's a complicated little movie. It's about a British politician who accidentally mentions that he's supporting a war that the U.S. is trying to get into, which is kind of like a satire of the war in Iraq. They're trying to start a war in somewhere in the Middle East, so it's definitely a little bit of a difficult movie, and it satirizes, the politicians from both the British and the U.S. government and the aides that work for them. So, Brendan, what'd you think of it?
I liked it. I mean, definitely what you said. It's very complicated. I mean, the movie moves very fast and it has an energy to it, particularly with the dialogue. I mean, the best part of the movie was the dialogue and the Malcolm Tucker character.
Yeah.
I enjoyed a lot. I mean,
definitely, he swears a lot in very colorful language.
Yeah, he chews everyone out pretty much in the movie.
Yeah, every appearance he's going to get at least to chew somebody out. But I somewhat disagree with you that it was a fast picture. I thought, now the movie's 109 minutes. I thought there were times when the pacing was a little bit slow. In the beginning, it went pretty quick, and then after maybe like 10-15 minutes, the pacing. Sometimes it went pretty well, sometimes it slowed down a little bit to me.
I kind of felt with how fast they were throwing the dialogue out and the plot points, they were trying to move a lot of things around very fastly. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it didn't work out as well. Yeah. But the movie probably could have been trimmed like by 10 minutes or something, and lost maybe a couple character storylines.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of characters in this movie.
Yeah. And some of them you don't get to know. I really liked what was satirized with this movie. Like, for example, there's one scene that shows that a lot of college students are starting their careers in Washington with these important positions, and when Malcolm Tucker is going to a meeting about this new committee, which is really the war committee, but it's called the planning committee.
The future planning committee.
Yeah, the future planning committee. He comes in, he sees this 21-year-old kid, college student, and he's flipping out. He's like, "What the hell is this? I was supposed to be briefed on the committee, and I'm being briefed by this kid," and all this stuff. There were some moments like that I really thought was funny, like when they went into something like that. Or another scene where this general is trying to talk to Karen Clark about the possible war, and he's using the kids, a child. They're in a kid's room, and he's using toys.
Yeah, he's using a children's toy to compete how many soldiers they need for the war.
Yeah,
that was really good. Yeah, that was played by James Gandolfini, who was in there for a very small role, but he does a good job with it.
Yeah, those moments I liked, but for everything else, there were some times where I thought that was just a little bit too talky for my taste. And getting back to the performances, I don't know if you remember Anna Chlumsky from the My Girl movies in the early 90s. She plays an aide in this movie, and she was really good, I thought, in that role.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she wrote this outline about war, the pros and cons of it, and that's
mainly anti-war. And they're trying to get the article changed.
They're trying to get it changed so that the U.S. can go to war. Definitely. One thing I like about satire is, there's a difference between parody and satire, and some people tend to mix them up. Satire is when it's making fun of something that's happening in real life, where parody is making fun of, movies or something like that. Satire is definitely more serious, and parody is more like, I like this. Like Mel Brooks, he parodies older films like Young Frankenstein. He's basically saying, I love horror movies, let's make fun of it. But here, satire is definitely more of taking something that's happening in real life, like in this case, the war that's happening in Iraq.
Yeah, they're deciding whether or not to do a war, and it's a very serious decision.
Yeah, and they're using, and like we mentioned, there's scenes where the kids' toys and the young college students are starting to do the important jobs in Washington, trying to basically trying to make you think about it, and the director is trying to use his point of view to, make fun of the situation.
And I liked how you got to see the juxtaposition between the American politicians and the British ones.
Yeah.
I thought the British ones were a lot more fun to watch, but yeah, it was interesting seeing how they
I thought
interacted.
except for the Karen character, Karen Clark, I thought most of them were almost pretty bland and they just weren't as interesting. But like you said, the British politicians, I thought were more lively. I don't know if that was the director's way of saying that all American politicians are pretty bland and not as interesting as the British ones, but that would be a very interesting thought.
Yeah, well, it definitely seems like they were much more entertaining, particularly the Malcolm Tucker character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I definitely think would be a good movie to rent with rather than going to see, because this movie isn't limited release. It's not playing everywhere. I know Hurt Locker and 500 Days of Summer have been expanding into more theaters, but here it's still not quite everywhere in the country right now. So.
No, yeah, it's just the major cities. So
yeah, on demand.
So if you have the on-demand feature, watch it on there if you want to watch it. But
and plus it's $6.99. It's cheaper than a theater ticket.
Yeah, it is cheaper than a theater ticket, but it's a little more expensive than a rental fee. So maybe wait till it comes out on rental.
Okay. All right, for In the Loop, I'm going with The Verdict rented on DVD. It's a nice movie. It's got some good satirical moments, but to me the pacing just seemed not quite right at times. So you're going with Rent It too?
I agree. I have to absolutely say Rent It with this movie. It has its charm, but the pacing does throw the film off, unfortunately. But it's a good movie nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you very much for watching, and post any comments if you've seen In the Loop, and we'll see you on the next edition of R&B Reviews.